Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Zainab Abbasi, a life coach and your host today. और आज हमारे साथ जो गेस्ट हैं, he is very much incredible coach and she'll be joining us today and her name is Sundas Khan. So I would like to introduce Sundas Khan. She is an ICF coach and NLP master practitioner. Hi Sundas, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome on board. I would like
Thank
to
you.
tell more about welcome. I would like to tell more about Sundas. Sundas is recently joined PCA Pakistan Coaching Alliance, and we all welcome her on board. And more about her introduction, I would like to tell Sundas that she can add up in your introduction. You would like to tell more about yourself?
Sure, thank you so much. I've recently joined PCA. I've been doing unofficial coaching for the last 2 years, and I think this year was something that I decided to make it more official, more formal, because I think for a bigger impact, you need to do some things more professionally and more formally. I'm also an entrepreneur at the side. I run an IT agency in Battle, and having had that experience, I think that's what led my journey towards coaching.
Wow, mashallah. And I think we have to talk more about today about the uh, woman safe spaces and emotional regulation for women, right? This is our topic today because Sundas has her expertise in this field. So, Sundas, I would like to know that how do you define safe space personally? What does it mean to you?
I think a safe space is where you can be, where you can, be yourself, the real version, where you can not worry about being judged, not worry about putting your thoughts out there, and be able to regulate and understand what you're feeling and what your perspective is without any judgment being passed.
So, why is it necessary for women to have a safe space? Like it can also for be a men also.
I think it's very important for men and women both. It's just that it's very unfortunate in our culture, in our society, that women usually don't have that safe space. Uh, it's not just the culture on its own. It's the way our lives have molded. It's the way we've been brought up, and a lot of values that have been instilled. They might not be wrong. It's just that women don't really have that liberty to seek that kind of a space where they can just be able to put out whatever they're feeling, whatever they want um, to discuss. It's just relatively difficult for women as compared to men, because men have the liberty to go out, meet their friends whenever they want, irrespective of the time, the circumstances, the responsibilities. Whereas we
Hmm.
women, unfortunately, are tied up to a lot of responsibilities, the cultural responsibilities, household responsibilities, and a lot of other things.
Hmm. Right. So, Sundas, you have been living in USA also sometime and in Pakistan also. So,
Yeah.
do you find this issue everywhere in the rest of the part of the world, or specifically in our culture, like in our society?
It's relatively more in our society. In Pakistan, I've traveled the world, I've lived in a lot of countries. And the fact that this issue is at a lot of places, but unfortunately in Pakistan, it's a lot more prominent as compared to other places. And I think they're progressing in the Western world as compared to us. We still don't have those kind of spaces.
Hmm. In more profession and in like household also, women don't have those privileges like men have. You want to say that, right?
Yeah,
So,
fortunately, yeah.
Sundas, I was reading your bio on the LinkedIn, and it was written that you deal with the emotional challenges that come with divorce. So, I would like to know more about this. Like, is your specialization or certification? How do you deal these kind of issues?
My specialization is more for conflict management and women, especially undergoing these challenges. I've
Mm,
actually experienced and seen this up close on a very personal level. And at that time, I realized uh, we don't have that kind of support readily available for women. Because when a woman is going through any such challenges, especially when it comes to relationship, uh, the lashback that they feel and that they get from their own family at times is so much that you cannot even expect anything else from the society when you are experiencing that within your own family. What happens is then there's no, you're just, either you hit a rock bottom and your recovery is very still, or you don't have those kind of spaces where you can reach out to the right people to help you pull out, help you validate, help you regulate your emotions. So my expertise basically lies in the fact that I help women regulate, especially those who are going through these relationship issues. That could be women who are going through separation, divorces, are single mothers, or even just women who are struggling with um, dealing with the work life balance and their families.
true. That's fact. Actually, in our society, they don't get any moral support if they get divorced or go for something like that. So, next thing I would like to know is why did you choose to focus on creating safe spaces for women? If you face challenges finding a safe space yourself, how did you overcome them?
I think I was very lucky in terms of the fact that I had a very solid support system in respect to my friends and my family. And
Hmm.
while I did experience a lot of things, I have seen it personally that a lot of women are not even privileged to have that support from their family. They don't have friends who understand that what a woman is going through. You just need to be there. You don't even need to do anything else. Just be there to listen to her without her voicing her that she needs help. The fact that at that time, while I had experienced these things up close in my surroundings, I realized that there is no such place. There's no guidance of how to pull yourself back on your feet, how you're hitting rock bottom, how to get back on your feet, how to build yourself back up. And the fact that it's not just a stigma, it's not just a tag that's going to ruin your life, or it's not the end of the life on its own. That is something that brought me to the point where I realized that it's very important for women to be able to have that safe space where they can connect with women who are probably going through similar challenges, and just be able to connect at a level where they can share that what worked for them, instead of having that gossip ground, just a place where they're just sharing their experiences.
Thank you. Very well answered on this. Thank you. I know it's giving your clarity to other people as well that we don't need to judge them, just listen them. Okay, so I would like to know that safe space issues happens to everyone, right? Men or women. So what made you focus especially on women? Do they face some unique or more frequent challenges? We already done this question, but I need to know more about this. That do they face some unique or more frequent challenges like?
Like I mentioned, I think it's very difficult for women to just be able to connect. Men can easily go out. They have more easy events as compared to women. Women don't even get that chance to realize that they need a place where they can just even vent, if nothing else, just be able to read stuff or be able to connect with similar women, if even if they don't want to voice anything. The
Mm-hmm.
main factor is that being able to understand what we're feeling and being able to have that feeling validated is something that women in general process and work accordingly. That's like the logic of how it works for women. So women don't usually have that exposure, and then from a cultural aspect as well, from the way we're so stuck and caught up in our daily lives, managing your household, your work, your kids, your family, you don't even get the time to realize that you're in a place where you need that help, where you need that safe space.
Okay, but sometimes I have heard from some men also that they say कि हम भी इतना वो काम कर रहे हैं हम भी बिल्कुल कमा रहे हैं हम भी like they feel कि हम they play victim sometime कि अगर woman कर रही हैं बच्चे देख रही हैं घर देख रही हैं और सारा कुछ कर रही हैं responsibilities तो हम भी उतना ही ऑफिस में पॉलिटिक्स देख रहे हैं But I worked in some corporate cultures, so I know कि आदमी भी इस तरह की बात करते हैं कि we also need a space to breathe and we also want to vent out. हम भी बहुत जिम्मेदारियों में हैं, kind of that talk. So they don't feel कि औरत ही like इतना कुछ कर रही है सोसाइटी में, हम भी contribute कर रहे हैं. What you have to
नहीं,
say about it?
एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली। देखिए, द इट्स नॉट अबाउट के व्हाट वुमेन नीड और व्हाट मेन नीड, इट्स इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर बोथ। we're just discussing the fact
Yes.
कि men still have more opportunities as compared to women। safe spaces दोनों के लिए होना
Mm.
बहुत ज़रूरी है। it's not that कि
Yes.
men are not going through a lot of issues। I also help regulate men going through relationship issues, but as compared to
Mm.
that, I think women are still prone, because we're built that way, na? We feel things on a
Yes.
different level, men feel things on a different level। so the fact that
Exactly.
उनके लिए opportunities relatively ज़्यादा हैं, हमारे लिए वो opportunities बहुत कम है। That's the
Mm.
only difference। it's
Exactly.
not that we're not saying कि men don't need
Mm.
it।
The difference of the culture and the opportunities they get. Okay, so this आप ये बताएं कि how can friends or partners help create a safe emotional space?
आई थिंक अगर आपका सपोर्ट सिस्टम जिसके अंदर आपके पार्टनर हैं, आपके हस्बैंड हैं, यू हैव फ्रेंड्स, उनमें आपकी फीमेल फ्रेंड्स हैं,
Mm.
आपकी फैमिली है, दे आर द लाइफ सपोर्ट ऑफ योर इंटायर द वे दैट योर वर्क फंक्शनिंग, एंड दे बूस्ट यू अप। हम उस इन्वायरमेंट में जब रहते हैं तो हम रियलाइज़ नहीं करते हैं कि हमारे लिए इर्द गिर्द की इन्वायरमेंट कितना मैटर करती है। जब आप लाइक माइंडेड लोगों के साथ बैठते हैं उठते हैं, व्हेन यू फील कि अच्छा आपकी जो है बेसिकली आपको एक पुश मिलता है टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट पीपल आर सपोर्टिंग यू, पीपल आर रूटिंग फॉर यू। एक नेचुरली आप अपने आप को अपलिफ्ट कर लेते हो, एंड हैविंग दैट सेफ स्पेस फ्रॉम योर पार्टनर, फ्रॉम योर फ्रेंड्स इज सो इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट it can change the dynamics of how you're spending your life, how you're looking at things, and how you're processing the trauma itself।
And if some woman doesn't have supporting friends or partner even, then what will be her like thing to do? Like what should she do if she finds the friends are not supportive and the partner is also not listening and supportive and family even? So what will be her choice to like vent out or something like that?
That's
Safe
exactly the
space.
point of the safe space, that I'm actually working towards creating something similar where they can connect with women who are going through, like, similar issues. If they're not getting that relevant support from their friends and from their within their circle, we
Mm.
cannot control what other people think. We cannot control how other people react. We can control how we choose to be in that environment, how we choose to deal with that. And based on that, how the kind of space or the kind of people we want to hang out with is what matters. And that's exactly the entire purpose of having that safe space, is that even if you are not getting that support from within your own circle, you have a
Mm.
circle of women who have experienced those similar issues, who can help you regulate, help you process and navigate in that specific trauma.
Thank you, Sundas. Thank you. So I would like to know more about like what is one common misconception people have about emotional regulation in women?
Women are generally more emotional. There's no other way to say it, and that does not mean
Mm.
that by emotional we say they're whiners or anything. It's just that we're made that way, where we process everything in a different way. We process things more intensely. The fact that we don't understand what we're feeling, we don't understand at that very moment, we're not even taught to know to regulate our emotions, is something that it needs to be addressed. We're not taught to realize, or just for a second hold on your thoughts and process them, to see that what you're feeling is maybe anger, is love, is pain, or is the fact that you're feeling betrayal. That is
Mm.
so important. It changes the way that you look at things. It changes the way your body functions. It changes the way you build neural pathways in your mind.
Thank you, Sundar. So I would like to ask you one more question that how can women set healthy boundaries without feeling guilty?
I think the first step is realizing that we have emotions. We need to take a step back, hold on, and process them, understand what we're feeling. And once we know what we're feeling, only then we can start regulating them. Once we start regulating them, standing up for your own emotions, understanding that, okay, at this very moment, I'm feeling angry and it's best not to react, it's okay. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with it. By reacting when you're angry is only
Mm-hmm.
going to worsen things. We are unfortunately tuned in a way where every time we feel angry or we feel, like we have to put out our concern, we think that we're belittling the other person or it's not our ground. We just need to unlearn a lot of things that we've been taught, unlearn a lot of things that have been indirectly instilled in our brains, and realize, just hold our thoughts. Take a moment, take a deep breath, and just let that thought process your head so you understand exactly what you're feeling. The day when we start realizing that it's okay to feel whatever we're feeling is going to be the point when we start accepting our emotions and processing them and being able to regulate what all our emotions are, and then creating a very safe boundary that, okay, I'm feeling angry, this thing is bothering me, please don't do that. Then it's going to be ultimately easy for us. Until and unless we don't accept what we're feeling, we don't put, it's sometimes it's very it's not said that it's nice to put a tag, but at times it's very important that you put a tag to understand and tell your brain that whatever you're feeling is equally important. I hope that
So there are
answers your
some
question.
techniques. Yeah, thank you very much. It answered my question, but I want to know some tool and technique to deal with this kind of emotion. Like, you can share some technique or tool to deal with this scenario.
I think there are a lot of tools and techniques combining from what we've gone through in ICF and NLP. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the basic thing that every human can do is meditate. That's one thing, because that just lets all those thoughts process and go through your head like a frequent flow. You can, work out exactly what happened in the day. Maybe if you get a chance, it could be as easy as 5 minutes of meditation, day end or day in the day beginning. Just, anywhere, just focus, close your eyes, take deep breaths, and let the thoughts flow. Normally what happens is when we tell people to meditate, they say that, we can't focus. That's the point. You're not dead. Your thoughts are going to flow. That's a sign that you're alive. So let those thoughts flow and just
Mm-hmm.
breathe. Even being able to breathe in that moment where you feel you're angry, you feel you have a rush of emotions, just
Mm-hmm.
take a pause, take a step back and breathe. Take deep breaths. That is going to put a different perspective in your mind and help you realign your thoughts, realign or navigate and connect with what you're feeling in terms of your brain and your heart being on the same connection.
Thank you. That's really nice technique. I will also follow that. And I think journaling also is another tool that helps people. Journaling.
Yeah, it could work for anybody. Journaling, we have a lot of things. People take a walk. People like to, go out, take a walk. People like to journal. I know people who like to listen to music when they're having a rush of emotions, or, they just put on a loud music. I also know people who like to dance. So it could be anything that works for you, as long as you are letting your body feel everything. It's very important that we let those feelings flow instead of just, accumulating them and just shutting them down. That, no, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to validate it, that I don't want it to come out.
Okay, thank you. So this is, I want to ask that if women had more safe spaces available, what positive changes do you think we would see in our society?
Right now, I think one thing I'm seeing is that the way women are dealing and our next generation, the relationships are getting affected with it. We don't process our own emotions, and unfortunately, then they get transferred on to our children. And then children, till up to the age of 6, they pick on everything a mother is feeling. Even if a mother is, is just feeling and not showing it, the child is going to pick on that. That creates a huge impact, and it just uh, up till the age of 6 is what when their brain is creating and forming habits, and that's exactly what affects, when you don't know how to regulate your emotions, you're unfortunately affecting the entire household. And in terms of that, you're affecting and putting that, transferring that onto your kids as well. So if we could
Yes.
have more safe spaces where we can just be able to regulate or understand our emotions and connect with people who can tell you, okay, this worked for me, maybe you try this out as well. I understand
Hmm.
people cannot reach out to coaches, people cannot, hire the official help in terms of monetary issues, but at
Hmm.
least having people who've gone through this, hearing from them, it could work out from them. That would create such an impact where not only their own personal lives will get better, but the lives of people connected with them, which would be, their partners, their kids, their parents, their siblings, they'll feel a difference in that.
Okay. So I like your advice, and sometimes I meet. I'm a life coach, so I also meet some ladies, and they say कि we are not in a safe space. We don't feel acknowledged, or like in their household, or they're married, they have kids, and they're in a toxic environment also, but they cannot step up for choosing themselves or choosing a happy life for themselves. They say कि हमारे पास कोई ऐसी जगह नहीं है where we can go back, like it's our like मजबूरी है, होता है सोसाइटी में हमारे ऐसा. So what you would like to advise to those women कि अब they can't take a step, they can't take a divorce, इसके बच्चे हो गए हैं, मजबूरी है, we have to stay in the same place where we are not safe. We are talking about safe spaces for women. They don't feel safe there with their partners or in-laws, but they have to be there. So what would you say to those women, because they can't afford coaching also, they can't help themselves? So what would you like to advise to those women in our society? They're educated also, they are from very good families.
See, there's no compromise when it comes to not feeling safe physically. If you think you're at a place where your life is in danger, there's no question about that. You need to get out, regardless of you have a place to go to or not.
Mhm.
I've actually seen so much work going on for shelters for women around these lines in Pakistan. There are a lot of NGOs working for that. That is
Yes.
something that's incompromisable. Your safety in terms of physical safety is incompromisable. If you
Mhm.
say that the environment is toxic, like I said, you can only control your own behavior, you cannot control anyone's behavior. So the change has to start from within you. You need to start creating and processing those things yourself. If you are educated, find some work, try to be independent, try to build
Mhm.
activities that are
Mhm.
productive, that keep you sane. See, because if you're not going to make those efforts for yourself, nobody's going to do that. And I
True.
do understand women have issues they can't go back to, but if you're educated, find a job, you'll be able to make something. You can run a home business, you can do so many things. There's so many opportunities, and I know people who are actually willing to invest and teach as well. So do that. Firstly, think of your financial independence if you don't have a place to go to. And secondly, start working on positive attitudes, positive activities, positive habits. Once you start building those, ultimately they will be a part, such a big part, that they'll keep you sane, they'll keep you active. That is the only option. If you can decide to leave that option,
Mhm.
I am a firm believer that there's always a solution to everything. There's always a way to do things, and there's never a no sign for anything. You can always figure out a way for it. The only thing is how you want to handle that situation at that time. So maybe just having that positive attitude is going to build everything from there.
Where there's a will, there's a way,
Exactly.
what we say. So, Sundas, I would like to know about that. How do you deal with the people come to you like they're burnout, especially, no? If they feel burnout, so how do you tackle those kind of clients? What would be your technique?
For burnout, I think the first step is that they understand that they're burnout. A lot of cases that I've seen, a lot of cases that of people that come to me, I have seen them not even realizing that they're in a state of a burnout, and then they need to have a break. We are so habitual of thinking that, if our calendars are booked and, we have back to back meetings, we have activities every day, we're very successful. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The case is where you're giving equal time to your body, to your spirit, to your soul, and you're giving equal time, you have a very relevant work life balance. If you're not doing that, unfortunately, there's no point. Having them understand that what they're feeling and the toll that it's taking on them is the first step that I always go with. And then I start telling them to take, of course, have a lot of techniques to help them work out when deal with burnout. I don't want to go into the very technical side of things, but
Mhm.
first step,
Exactly.
understand that you're in a burnout. Second step,
Mhm.
take a break. Third step, you need to process it and plan out your activities where you're utilizing your energy in the best possible way. If you're not being mindful of your body or of how you're giving, you're not going to be able to process things. And in the end, ultimately, you're going to have such a bad crash where recovery is going to be difficult.
True. Thank you, Sundas. It was lovely having you with us, and I welcome you to Pakistan Coaching Alliance family. And we are proud to have you with us. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you,
Thank
Sundas.
you so
Allah
much.
Hafiz.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Allah
Bye.
Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.